So when we talk about motorcycles from the 1980s, we think about raw power, no electronics, and just a raw feel to the engine. But here we have India's first electric Royal Enfield Bullet made by Bulleteer Customs. So come on, let's take a look at this vehicle up close. My name is Vedant Jouhari and welcome to DriveSpark. While taking a look at this motorcycle up close, we see 18-inch front tires on telescopic suspensions with Brembo brake pads, and we see a really retro designed front round headlamp. And the retro look honestly spans across the whole motorcycle from the front right till the end with the tank so-called and the engine casing. So this is not really an engine casing. It covers the 72-volt battery which powers the whole bike, and linked to the battery is a rear 5 kilowatt hub motor. So coming to the design aspect, a retro look which spans across the whole bike. Ironically, we have the word gasoline written on an electric bike. Honestly, has a quite amusing touch to the whole feel of it. Towards the rear of the bike, we can see an exposed skeletal chassis and a look that will surely attract other people on the road. Totally, we have a black, white, and a red color scheme on the bike. Again, bringing out a very classy and a very retro look to it. And coming to the charging of the bike, this is where the charger sits. It has to be plugged in from the rear. A very nice design element, which again brings out the look of this bike. At the rear, we have a circular brake light with a very retro style, a very classic style seen on the older models of bikes. Looking at the seat, we have a single seat, and the seating position, your feet are kept up front with an upright but a sort of leaned in front seating position. It's perfect for the cities. However, on long rides, it can get a little uncomfortable as a lot of pressure is being put on the back. So now while sitting on the bike, the first thing we look at is a speedometer or an instrument cluster or something like that. But here we don't have anything like that. Instead, we have a small screen on the so-called tank of the bike. So coming to the specifications, it has a 72-volt battery linked to a 5 kilowatt rear hub motor which powers the bike. In total, the bike can give an average of around 90 kilometers of range. But again, it all depends on the riding style of the rider. For an aggressive rider, probably around 60 to 70 kilometers. And to charge the battery, it takes around 6 or 7 hours. If you're riding the motorcycle, if you want a top speed run, the fastest you can probably hit on this bike is around 90 kilometers per hour. If you want a slight boost in the power, you have a button over here which acts like NOS for around a 5-second increase in torque and power. So located on the throttle of the bike, we have a switch gear which has drive, neutral and reverse, so with obviously no clutch. And to start the bike, there's a button located underneath the tank which when you press, the motorcycle is automatically powered on. So here we have the mind behind this motorcycle, and we're going to ask him a few questions. So if you could just introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, so my name is Ricardo, and I own a little custom motorcycle outfit in Bangalore called Bulleteer Customs. And yeah, I've been loving what I've been doing for the past 15 years now.
Wow. How long have you been around motorcycles for?
Around motorcycles, I think I have my dad to thank for that. I think since I was about 3, I've been sitting on an Enfield tank. Wow. And Dad's been telling me about, the great legendary Enfield and all that stuff. So I love all motorcycles, but Royal Enfield has a very, very soft, I have a very soft corner for Royal Enfield. It's somewhere very deep in my heart, and yeah. So I've been intrigued with the vehicle for what, I'm 42 now. So I think about 40 years ever since I seen it for the first time. But yeah, loved it ever since. I didn't like the way that the company did not change the design for so many years until Siddharth Lal, of course, came in. Yeah. But I always thought the bike could be a lot more better looking.
You've
And
done that clearly also.
yeah, I've been doing that a lot. 540 bikes now, Enfields that we've actually transformed.
Wow.
And each one of them has a name, each one of them has a unique story.
Right.
And I think I realized that that's what really I do best in the world.
Yeah.
So I couldn't waste time doing anything else. Yeah.
What really inspired you to build this bike?
This bike, is it?
Yes.
Well, this is actually the 1984 cast iron Bullet 350 that my dad gifted me when I was 18.
Nice.
And that's the one that inspired, I mean, she's the one that inspired me to actually build custom motorcycles.
Okay, fine.
And in fact, most of the bikes that you see in our garage have all started off with this being the Lab Rat.
Oh, okay.
I mean, initially.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
once the business took off, I forgot about this bike completely. And
Right.
it was lying like a piece of junk. I'm very ashamed to
Okay.
remember that also. But at one point of time, my son is about 11 now, and he's also getting interested in bikes.
Okay.
And I realized that at one point of time, when he's riding,
Yes.
I don't think there's going to be, as much petrol as we would want to have.
For sure. For sure.
So I thought, okay, the next transformation for this bike is going to have a heart transplant where I removed and put an electric motor.
Yeah.
And I always used to have visions and share them with my son too about, riding without, so innocently.
Yes.
You're not polluting the environment. You're just
Yeah.
charging it at home.
Yeah.
And, there's no sound, there's no smell, there's no noise pollution, there's nothing.
A much more eco-friendly lifestyle.
Much more eco-friendly. And I think the simplicity of it is what really appealed to me.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe if I want to, gift my son this bike, it should be an electric. So
Fine. Yeah.
I just got up, did some research, found some guys called GoGo A1 in Mumbai.
Okay.
And they are one of the pioneers in electric technology and things like
Oh,
that.
nice. Okay, fine.
So they supply all these motors and all that. So I went there and I seen this. I asked them for the biggest motor that they could get. And so they said normally, the bikes like Yulu and all go on 1,000 watt motors.
Right. Yeah.
And I wanted something at least 3 or 4 times, 10 times maybe.
Yeah.
But they said they have a 5 kilowatt. So
So that was
Yeah.
more than enough.
we enjoyed quite a few things on this bike. But it also proved to me that if you really think that something is possible and you have the right team
Right.
and you have the right spirit and motivation, you could do it. You could do it in far less time than you actually would have, imagined.
That's super.
That's because we were working night and day. We
Yeah.
couldn't sleep. We
Yeah, I
would,
mean, if you put in the effort, you're definitely going to get the results.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
this is my proof for me.
yes, for sure. One question might be raised after talking about everything on this bike. How long did it take to produce? Well, very surprisingly, it took only 1 week to produce this bike, which is a very, very short time for an absolute piece of art. So this was all about India's first electric Royal Enfield Bullet. So please like, share and comment down below what you think about this motorcycle. This is Vedant Jouhari signing out.